Dominic Elliott says, Shalom, brother Maximus. Christ is with us. How do you see the 10 plagues relating with the creation of the world as with the wedding of Cana? So for sure, the 10 plagues are an undoing of creation. Clearly, they're an undoing of creation. And they actually scale all of creation. They start with water, and then they move up to dust, and then they move up to the world, to the animals, and they keep going up, and then they affect man directly with the boils, and then they keep going up into the heavens with hail and so water and fire falling together at the same time. And then you have predators coming from above, these locusts that come down to destroy the world. And finally, you have darkness. So it really is like an undoing of creation, which starts below and just goes all the way up into the heavens. But it also is, in many ways, a reverse of what's going to happen as they leave Egypt. It's super crazy because so if you look at the pattern, you can see like the fire and water mixed together, and that's what's bringing death. But when the Israelites leave, you have fire and water appearing as two distinct columns of reality, one guiding during the day, one guiding during the night. When they get to the sea, in the plagues, there's an east wind that comes and blows the locusts into the world. Right. And then when you get to the sea, there's also a wind which blows open the sea in order to create the world. So in the plagues, you see like the wind or the spirit of God, or the heavens acting like a predator which comes down to devour. And then you see again the heaven and the spirit of God acting like a like a wind which reveals the world again for a new beginning. But the most mysterious is, of course, that this leads to two things. It leads to two taking of the firstborn. The first is something like the end of a world where God removes the seed from the world, removes the firstborn, and that's the end of their world. Mm-hmm. But then there's also the voluntary sacrifice of the firstborn. Because if you read the text, it immediately goes into telling the Israelites that they also have to sacrifice their firstborn, but that they are offered a redemption, so they can redeem their firstborn with a sacrifice, with a willing sacrifice of a pure animal. But it's like the willing sacrifice is what begins the world. And the accidental or like inevitable taking away of the seed is what. So it's like if you don't sacrifice willingly, it's going to get taken from you. You're going to die, and you're going to lose the things that you find precious. But if you purposefully sacrifice, then they will be redeemed. It's like if you give up things, they will in a way be given back to you in a very strange and mysterious way. And that's actually like the secret of how a world begins, is the willingness to give up towards a higher purpose and then getting the world in exchange. And so that's why I said that it's related to the wedding of Cana, because in the wedding of Cana, it starts with Christ changing the water into wine. And then, but when the mother of God asks Christ to solve that problem, what does he say? He says, "Woman, it is not my time yet." And it's like, what? This seems like the craziest thing, but he's saying he knows that if you change the water into wine, the firstborn will die. He knows that. And so, but he also knows that it's him. He also knows that he has to give himself up as the firstborn, as the sacrifice, as all of those things coming together to restart the world. And that's what's being played out in that story. It's wild. It is the final version of the plagues of Egypt.
Nice work, Hotshot. That's good. I love that stuff. Well, too, I mean, there's a little epilogue to that, in the sense that what happens at that wedding feast is that the normal pattern of love and relationship and marriage is that over time, the quality of the wine declines, right? But, when Christ inhabits this relationship, that, the best is yet to come.
Yeah, but it's also
ecstasy is ahead.
Yes, and it's a mystery about how the end becomes the beginning, and how and it's a mystery because what Christ does in the sacrifice, when Christ dies on the cross, he is both, he is both the firstborn of the Egyptians being taken and the redemption, and the firstborn being given, acting as the redemption of the firstborn at the same time. So it's like it's like crazy. Like, man, Jesus' story just drives you crazy. It's as if that the what happened in Exodus is being condensed into one thing. Both sides are appearing at the same time. It's like when we say that Jesus is both goats, right? He's both he's both the sacrifice of atonement and the scapegoat. It's like it's all of that is coming together in the cross. And I think that for the story of Exodus, Christ is both the child of the Egyptians being taken up and the redemption sacrifice, willing redemption sacrifice given instead of all the firstborn. And it's like it just shatters you when you think about it.
Yeah, it's crazy.